Hey everybody, Caitlin on Tuesday. I'm really sorry I haven't been around for a while. I got an internship that requires a lot of time and work and mental stuff and just time. So I've been spending my week blowing off a lot of the afternoons, and then the weekends just sort of going, oh my god, there's so much to do, how do I do it all? And then, not being able to do it all. But as you may have noticed, my room is blue now. And there's like all this space behind me now, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. Possibly breakdancing. I don't know. But I have all the space now, and I'm sick, so that's why I'm in a bathrobe today, because I'm not feeling too good. So I have Grace with me, who's a Beanie Baby and praying, kind of like I'm praying that I don't feel as crappy tomorrow, because I have a meeting and I kind of need to be there. So I'm going to try and do this real quick because my battery might die. So this week is, I believe, beating writer's block. And that's kind of pretty awesome because I was actually, I kind of thought of a solution to beating writer's block today. And that solution is have a day job. Because if you have a day job and you have to go to it and you have to do work and you do all this stuff, I don't know about you, but I spend my entire time, well, not the entire time, but you know what I mean? If you're doing something else and you can't write, and it's like, I'm doing this, I want to write. When I have tons of time on my hands, I'm like, there's too much time for me to go, oh, but this isn't good, and well, what will somebody think about that, and oh, that's a stupid thing for he or she to say, or I don't like this, I'm gonna go do something else, and basically get distracted. But when you have to, I don't want to say limit, when you have to structure your time, and a lot of that structured time is being at work and not being able to write, if you take like little notes in the margins of things, you like have a little separate thing open, you take like little notes, oh, I had this idea, but then you can't like write about it, and so it just sort of sits in your brain and percolates all day, and then you get home and you're like, pounding on the keyboard, getting it all out, which is pretty cool. So I've found that a solution to beating writer's block is to be very busy. I think another solution would be to just start do writing prompts. Just go, and there's probably a lot of writing prompts on the web. They'll say, here's the situation, here's the character, go. And just write about it. There was a book that I was reading about, where ideas come from, and there were a lot of cool ideas in it. Now I wish I'd had it. I need to get better at planning these things out. But some of the ideas were about, looking at a piece of furniture and describing it in a few different ways, like using analogies and using similes and see how many ways that you could describe it. My favorite one was saying the dresser sat upright like a coffin. I thought that was fantastic. So that's one thing you can do. I don't know, think of a scene and see how many ways you can do that. You can describe it, or how many ways you can write it, from whose perspective. What else was really good? Another really good one was, this one I really liked, because this one was more for getting over the telling versus showing. Write up a character, just any character, maybe use a character you already have, and try and explain that character, just write a whole passage about that character, but try and explain that character without actually saying any of it. Like have the character do something that sort of shows, oh, so-and-so's like this, without actually having to say it. Like if, I don't know, so-and-so picks somebody's pocket, and, sees something like, oh, and, puts it back. I mean, that tells you a lot about the character without ever having to say it out loud. So that, I thought, was a really good writing exercise. One thing I've been doing lately is just going on flights of fancy and just writing whatever comes to mind, and then not even finishing it, not even telling myself, oh, I have to go somewhere, with this later. I just keep writing things. Just keep, little things. Beating writer's block, I think the problem with writer's block, the hard part about writer's block is it's uncertainty, and for me, usually writer's block is just nerves. It's fear. It's, what if I don't write anything good? What if I spend all this time writing something and it's just crap? Like, what if I just put it all wrong, and I just, I can't do it right, and I spend like hours and it's just crap, and I go back and I want to rewrite the whole thing. Like, it's that fear of wasted time, I think, for me, that really gets me into writer's block. So, I think that's why structured time really helps me, because then I feel like, oh, I have all this time, and I'm going to get it out as fast as I can, and I don't really have time to worry about, doing bad. So, I think that really works for me. Reading works really well too, doing other things, you know, not just like watching things or, you know, whatever, but just like doing something else or absorbing things. Reading, like right now I'm reading Martha Wells' Wheel of the Infinite, and I just picked it up randomly out of Village Bookshop, which is an amazing place. It's on, well, I don't know if you know the Columbus area, but it's on 161, where 161 hits Linworth Road. And there's like a BP, and if you go up, you know, here's like Linworth, and here's like, you know, 161. If you go up this way, there's like a big old white church. Village Bookshop, amazing. It's like Borders, except the prices are like way slashed, so it's pretty cool. You should totally go there. But I read a book by Martha Wells a while ago, and then I thought, you know, I saw this one, and I was like, oh, you know, I liked her pretty well. She had a great heroine, so I'll read this, and this is a pretty cool book. So anyway, that's what I'm reading, and those are really inspiring. So, you know, like, when you have something like this, it's amazing. You have to go back and read it again. Or you read something like, you know, this, where you know the author, and you know it's going to be a good book, and you're just reading it, and there's no pressure, you know, this is something I have to read. It's just fun. So I think that's a good way to beat writer's block, too, is to read books that you just know you're going to enjoy. You don't even have to struggle through them. They're just, you know, they're like candy. It's like eating candy, except in book form. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say on writer's block. I am making an effort mentally, if not physically quite yet, to do this a bit more on time. Next week is a free week, so I'm going to have to think a little bit about what I want to talk about next week, because I don't really know. So that, at the very least, hopefully next week will be pretty interesting. So that's me signing off. Hope you guys had a great Tuesday. Have a great, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday, Fringe is back. Oh my god, watch it. Anyway, that's it, and I will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully have something more interesting for you to listen to. Bye!